All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I begin, I'll give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakwakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone Well. All right, and this lesson, all right, is pretty much going to be, all right, on as you see right here, from the title of this video, but pretty much going to show you how unjust and how wicked these devils are when it comes down to when they let down their punishments upon Jake, man. All right, this video is titled, right, a Dallas man was wrongfully executed for murder 70 years ago is set to be exonerated, man. And there is countless situations like this, man, right? But let me play the clip.
Let's get over to assignment editor Danica Hill in our newsroom right now. Danica, what's being deemed one of the most significant moments in Dallas County history is happening today? What do we know about the Tommy Lee Walker exoneration?
Yeah, so today, representatives from the district attorney's office as well as representatives from the Innocence Project are expected to present evidence to the Dallas County Commissioner's Court that proves that Tommy Lee Walker was innocent of his crimes after being executed more than 70 years ago. A judge sentenced 21-year-old Tommy Lee Walker to death by electric chair for murder back in 1954. This all despite evidence showing that he did not commit that crime. 9 people even confirmed Walker's alibi on that night of the murder, that he was with his pregnant girlfriend who gave birth to their son the very next day. He says after hours of threats and promises, he was coerced into giving a false confession that he immediately tried to take back. He professed his innocence to the judge after he was convicted and sentenced to death by an all-white jury. He was then eventually executed in 1956. Now, 70 years later, the Dallas County Commissioner's Court will hear evidence today on the case presented during a special meeting and decide whether or not to pass a symbolic resolution exonerating Walker of this murder. Now, that meeting is set for 9 o'clock this morning. We also know that Walker's now 72-year-old son is expected to be there today to possibly see justice for his father all these years later. We do expect to have a photographer in the courtroom as well, and we'll bring you all the details as this develops. That's what we're tracking here at the desk. All right,
man, that's fucking wickedness, man. All right, this is the type of wickedness that they have done unto Jake, for decades, man. All right, and these type of situations are still going on to this day, man. Right. Here it is, this situation happened back in the 50s, but they tell you he had 9 eyewitnesses that was saying, right, that was confirming his alibi, that he was not the one to commit the crime. But what? These devils don't care, right? They needed a what they call it, a patsy, right, and a scapegoat, right, someone to blame, man, right? That's why a lot of people do not trust this Babylonian, all right, judicial system, man, okay? And then now here it is 70 years later talking about, yeah, we're going to do a symbolic exoneration. Okay. That's straight wickedness, man. Right? You got countless accounts, situations where you've seen, right, Jake being put on death row, getting put to death, for a crime that they did not commit, man. Right? When they even have the evidence to prove it. Right? I want to show you these devils do not care, man. They have that perpetual hatred. Even going back, right, to when we was in hardcore bondage in this place, man, right? They hanging you on a tree for whatever reason, right? Look at the situation with Emmett Till, all right? That is how these devils move, man, right? That's how they was moving when they had us in hardcore bondage, right? And now that, you got their whole judicial system, ain't nothing gonna change, man, right? That's why scripture says, arise and depart, for this is not your rest, man. Jake is a fool to believe that, they'll get, quote unquote, some type of justice, through this Babylonian system, man. Right? Through the true justice and true vengeance is going to come through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Shah. Right? When Yahweh Shah cracks those clouds, man, right? Vengeance is going to come, man. All right? True vengeance, true justice is going to come, man. All right? But they have a perpetual hatred for us, man. Right? This is Ezekiel the 35th chapter verse 5, and it reads, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, right? And when you go into that word perpetual, it means, right, everlasting, never ending, right? So they've had a never ending, everlasting, eternal All right, a hatred for us, man. These devils. All right, and Jake's still out here trying to be their friends, trying to be buddy with them, man. Right? Let's continue on this, man. This is Ezekiel 35:5 again. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord our power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? So they've had that perpetual hatred, right? They shedded our blood. They did all types of wickedness on us, man. Right? So therefore, the judgment's gonna fall upon them, right? They're gonna ultimately have to reap what they sow, man. All right. When Yahushua cracks these clouds, when the Lord put those spiritual powers upon His elect, man. All right. Hey, that's gonna be a beautiful time, man. Because the true vengeance and judgments and vengeance, all right, is gonna fall upon these devils, man. Okay, and I'm gonna get this also in Isaiah, the 10th chapter, verse 1, and it reads, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed." Right, and that's what they did and do in this place, man. They did and do in this place, right? They decree unrighteous decrees, man. Right? When they did that back to this individual, right? Back in the 50s, right? When he had 9 people confirming his alibi, saying he wasn't there. He was with his Eve, right? He was with his girlfriend, his wife, when she was pregnant. All right. All the way up to the next day when she gave birth to their child. All right. They still didn't believe that. Right? They said, nah, fuck that. We're going to put them in front of a jury of straight Edomites. We're going to put them to death. We're going to give them the electric chair, man. All right. That's an unrighteous decree, man. Right? But yeah, you got people saying, oh, that's justice. They applauding, man. Right? That's straight wickedness, man. And this is not the first situation like that, man. There's plenty of situations like that where they've, wrongfully convicted people of crimes they did not commit, right? And give them wild sentences, man. Whether it's, putting them to death, the execution, whether it's giving them damn near life in prison, or they have life in prison, or they spent 50, 70 years of their life, and by the time they come out of jail, they're old, man, because now they said, oh, we found you innocent, man. Right? This is Babylon, America for you, man. Straight wickedness, man. Straight unrighteous decrees getting pushed in this place, man. This place is designed and structured to ultimately destroy Jake and keep Jake at a low level, man. Right? But yet our people are still trying to build in this place, man. Right? Our people still think, this is the end all be all, man. They gotta make something of themselves in this place, man. Right? They're trying to, get that piece of the pie, trying to be like, these devils in this place, man. Right? But this is not the end all be all. We're looking forward to the kingdom, man. We're looking forward to this place being destroyed. We're looking forward to a righteous rulership, man. Right? Where we have righteous decrees, man. Where situations like this does not happen. All right. I get this because I've been quoting this in Micah the 2nd chapter, right? It reads, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction." Right? This place ultimately is not our rest, man. We see it's not our rest, man. Look how they what's the word I'm looking for? Look how they rule in this place, man. Look how these devils rule in this place, man. Right? This place is upside down, completely out of order, man. Okay? But situations like this shows you that perpetual hatred that these devils have had for us. It shows you how they have these unrighteous decrees, man. Right? It shows you how, they systematically set this place up for you to lose, man. Okay? Right? But that just goes to show you who our true enemies are. That's why the scripture says, never trust thine enemy. Okay? But hey, we know the point has been made. Lord willing, the source edifying to the elect of Israel. With that being said, I'll give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahasham, Yahawashai, Bahasham, Rakwakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone Well. Peace, blessings, salutations to for elect that is out there pushing, laboring, believing, and listening on to this truth with heart sincerity. Until next time, shalom, and a ball, Kwame Masharallah, shalom.